I'll get the insurance money when the old lady passes away. I'm going on a business trip tomorrow, so get ready. I had become Sam's mentor when he joined our company mid-career, and we ended up falling in love and getting married. But I had no idea about his true nature. I can't believe he can say such things so casually. One day, I had to tell Sam something unavoidable. However, I couldn't get in touch with him. He said he was on a business trip, but I already knew where he really was. It seems like he's having a fun time, but he better be prepared when he gets back. 2 weeks later, Sam returned home, looking happy, and I had to bring him back to reality. Your mother's funeral is over. What? He doesn't seem to grasp the reality yet, but I wonder what his face will look like when he does. By then, it will be too late. He'll learn firsthand the meaning of there's no use crying over spilt milk. I'm Erica Warner, and I'll be turning 40 this year. I work at a jam company in a region similar to Nebraska. After graduating from college, I worked at a company I joined on a whim, but I realized that wasn't what I really wanted to do, so I bravely changed jobs. It was when I was 25 years old. Since joining this jam company, I've been here for 15 years. Looking back, a lot has happened, but I'm satisfied with the way I work. The most fulfilling moment is when my ideas and the jams I've envisioned come to life and reach many fans. I feel happy when people eat the jam and say, "It's really good." You're as impressive as ever. Thanks, boss. I just got a message that the new flavors packaging is about to be finished, so I'm excited about that. That's great. But don't push yourself too hard. Still, this company would be in trouble without you, Erica. Well, thank you for the kind words. The boss is Terry, took over this jam company founded by her husband and is now the second-generation president. She stood up the company single-handedly right after losing her husband, determined not to let it fail. I've always wanted to be like her. She is my role model. Terry appreciates my work, so all I can do is work hard in return. Then one day, Terry called me into a separate room during work. Yes, did you need me? Sorry to bother you during your busy time. Actually, I'd like you to mentor a new employee. I was surprised to see who Terry introduced. Him? You noticed, huh? No use hiding it, he's my son. I want him to eventually learn everything about sales and office work, so I'm hoping you can teach him, Erica. I was surprised to be entrusted with such an important task. Me? Are you sure I'm the right person for this? Don't say me. You've always been hardworking since you joined the company. I've seen it, so I know it's true. So, what should I call you? Then, he stepped forward to introduce himself. I'm Sam Warner. I was in sales at a manufacturer before, but I decided to change jobs because I wanted to help protect this company. I'm looking forward to your guidance. He was very refreshing and made a good impression with his clear and confident way of speaking. He seemed to catch on quickly at work, and he had the ability to think and act on his own. His experience in sales at his previous job was reassuring, and I felt confident in trusting him with tasks. Erica, I mean. Sam, who usually spoke clearly, was hesitating. I felt something was off. What's wrong? Is there a problem? Well, it's not a problem, but do you like movies? Movies? Yeah, I like them. I haven't had much time to go see them recently, though. Would you like to go to a movie with me? There's one I've been wanting to see, but I feel awkward going alone. I was red in the face, wondering what he was going to say, and it turned out to be an invitation to a movie. Oh, I've been wanting to see that movie too. Let's go together. How about next Sunday at the cinema near the station? Great. Yes, at the cinema near the station, next Sunday. Thank you. Come on, it's not work. I should be the one thanking you. I had never dated a man before and had been focused solely on studying and work. So, the day I decided to go to the movies with Sam, I was really nervous. However, the time spent with Sam was so enjoyable that it blew all my nerves away. We talked about fun and interesting things that we couldn't discuss at work, and I found myself wanting to know more about him, to talk more with him. Luckily, it seemed Sam felt the same way. I've actually had my eye on you ever since I joined here. If you're okay with me being like this, please marry me. Yes, I'd love to. I look forward to spending our lives together. I never thought that I, who had been distant from men and focused only on work, would meet and marry someone I wanted to be with this much. A few months into our marriage, our newlywed life was going smoothly. It was so fulfilling to share life with someone I loved. Sam had learned everything I taught him and was now fully independent. However, I couldn't overlook the fact that his true nature was gradually revealing itself. Sam didn't do anything around the house. No, he couldn't. He had lived alone for a long time, and since he had his own rules at home, he probably wasn't troubled by not being able to do household chores. Sam's surroundings are always a mess. Honestly, since we both work, I'd like us to share household chores and create a comfortable living space, but Sam seems the type who doesn't mind how messy the room gets. Before we got married, he said, let's just do chores as we notice them. Dividing them up is a hassle. But in the end, it always falls on me to do them. Hey, I've told you to put your laundry in the basket. Don't just leave your socks rolled up in the hallway. Why do I have to be instructed on everything in my own house? What, you want me to not even take off my socks when I come home? Nobody's saying that. I'm just asking you to put your socks in the basket since they need washing. Why do you take it the wrong way? What? Seriously, this is annoying. I can't even relax in my own home. It's like I have to be on edge all the time with you, like I'm at work. Saying that, he always shifts the topic and snaps back. Then storms out of the house. Once he leaves, it's normal for him not to contact me for days. Thankfully, since we got married and I moved to a different department, it's less awkward not to run into him at work. He seems to be showing up to work, but I wish he'd stop clicking his tongue every time we pass each other in the hallway. It's irritating when he does that every time we cross paths. It's like something a grade schooler would do. Then, after a while, he comes home as if nothing happened. I've decided not to stir things up anymore, so I just keep quiet. Hey, Erica, there's a video game I've been interested in recently. It's cool if I buy it, right? He knows I don't like to argue and clam up when things escalate, so he says this knowing I'll give in. We're under the same roof. I don't want to make a big deal and create more problems, so I just agree. Sure, you can buy it. I'm sorry I haven't been considerate enough to understand how tired you are from work. My resistance is feeble, I say I too, but it doesn't seem to resonate with Sam. Or rather, he doesn't notice. It seems like he only heard "sure, you can buy it," and is already meticulously choosing which video game to buy online. I can only sigh, thinking of how I worried and agonized over Sam not coming home for days, and now he's acting as if nothing happened. Then one day, I got a call from my mom. My mom and I are very close, and we go on trips together once or twice a year. Since I started working, I've been paying for our trips as a small way of giving back, and inviting my mom has become a tradition. My mom is quite active for her age, so I'm always happy when she eagerly agrees to my invitations. The year before we got married, we went to a place similar to spa resort, so I was thinking maybe spa again this year, or maybe even an amusement park. I was looking at websites when Sam came home without me noticing. What are you looking at so intently? Oh, welcome back. I was just planning a trip with my mom. It's kind of an annual tradition, making memories, you know? Then Sam made a face like he'd tasted something bitter. Really? You're the type who still hangs out with your mom even after becoming an adult? What's so strange about going on a trip with my mom? Strange? Why would it be? I was just deciding whether to go to a spa like last year, or maybe to an amusement park to enjoy some events. So, going on a trip means you'll be leaving the house empty? It's just for one night, so I'll be back soon. Don't worry. Sam looked around the room and replied. We're married, and you're going on a trip with your own mom? What about me? Plus, if the house isn't cleaned for one day, it'll get all dusty, right? I thought to myself, this is rich coming from someone who's never lifted a finger to clean, but I didn't argue. Both of us work during the day and live together, so the house won't get that dirty. Plus, I'll make sure to clean up the day before, so it'll be fine. Anyway, about the trip, I never said it was okay for you to go. Don't you lack a sense of duty as a wife who should protect the home? I thought, I work full-time just like you, but realized it was pointless to argue and stayed silent. After all, as an adult, he shouldn't have any trouble if I'm not home for one night. Sam, misunderstanding something, snorted. Recently, that Mika who joined our company seems way more competent. Mika is a female employee who joined our company this year and works in the same department as Sam. I didn't understand why he brought her up all of a sudden, but I didn't want to continue the conversation, so I didn't ask. However, I would later regret not asking more about Mika at that time. I decided to go on the trip with my mom despite Sam's objections. But 5 days before the trip, on Sunday, I received a call from an unknown number. Thinking it might be work-related, I answered casually, only to find it was a call from a hospital. My mother had been urgently transported there after a traffic accident. What should I do? My mom's been in a traffic accident and taken to the hospital. Huh, I see. Sam replied distractedly, not taking his eyes off the video game on the TV screen. Worried and unable to stay put, I decided to go to my mother. Fortunately, it was Sunday, and neither of us had work, so I could leave right away. I asked Sam to come with me. Please come with me, Sam. I'm too anxious to go alone. Why should I? What? I was speechless at Sam's unexpected response. Why do I have to go see your old lady? I'm done with this, then I gotta go to work. It was ridiculous, him playing video games and glued to the TV screen, now suddenly claiming he had work. How can you say something like that at a time like this? What? You think I'm lying? So annoying. Annoying, you say? Anyway, I can't go. Just make sure you're back by dinner. Was Sam always like this? Before we got married, he was full of humor and kindness. You're worried about your dinner at a time like this? What else can you do but housework? I don't know if you've won over my mom or what, but you're being ridiculous thinking you're up to it. At least be competent enough to take care of me and cook. How can you say that when my mom's life is unknown after a traffic accident? I'll get the insurance money when the old lady passes away. I'm going on a business trip tomorrow, so get ready. Despite my concern for my mom and my urgency to get to her, Sam only grumbles about not wanting to go, talking about dinner, his trip tomorrow, and only about himself. If I get wrapped up in his pace, I might end up missing the last chance to see my mom. I can't afford to have that regret. I know what I need to do now. Anyway, I'm going. I don't know if I'll be late, so take care of your own dinner. You can manage your business trip preparation, like clothes and underwear, on your own. Somehow shaking off Sam's complaints, I managed to reach the hospital where my mom is admitted. But the damage from the traffic accident is severe, and my mom's consciousness is unstable. Even when she wakes up, her awareness is not clear, and watching the monitor makes me anxious. I just want her to regain consciousness and get better quickly. I'd stay by her side if I could. However, my constantly ringing phone, mostly messages from Sam, doesn't allow that. The messages are filled with accusations about how I'm a failed wife. Disqualified as a wife. A future president's wife should be more prepared, he writes, blaming me with every word he can think of. My going to the hospital must have really bothered him. The messages grow longer, and reading them becomes a chore. Torn between taking care of my mom, dealing with Sam, and work, my feelings are in turmoil. It's impossible to stay calm in such a situation. Noticing my hectic state between the hospital and work, the boss called me to her office. I heard from other employees. Your mom's in a critical condition. Don't worry about work right now, just stay with your mom. Thank you. But it was so sudden, I haven't contacted our clients, and I might have to come to the office occasionally, but I don't know when I can fully return to work. Don't worry about that. Just let me know when you have an idea of when you can come back. I'm waiting for your mom to get better and for you to return. Thank you. I'm filled with a mix of gratitude and guilt. Since I'm at work, I should at least finish what I can before going back to the hospital. I opened my computer to work. Then I noticed something on one of the monitors visible from my desk. Our company often rents monthly apartments for jobs in distant locations with top-notch security linked to a security company. We can check the entrance security cameras from our office computers 24/7. On the entrance camera, I noticed two figures. Sam? This monthly apartment is rented for our company's new female employees. Sam said he was going on a business trip, but he wasn't supposed to use this apartment. Why is Sam at this apartment, which should be used by another female employee at this time? Then, there he was, leaving the entrance hand in hand and gazing affectionately with a female employee. Why? My mind was filled with confusion. My mother is in a critical condition after a traffic accident, and Sam is not going to the hospital or staying by her side, but instead, he's on a date with another woman? For now, I decided to record the monitor's footage on my phone as evidence. This video might be crucial if something comes up. I couldn't believe my husband's infidelity, and I was unsure how to report this situation to my mother-in-law. It's tricky because he's my husband and her son. If I handle this wrongly, it could create a rift in our relationship going forward. While I was hesitating, the phone rang with the familiar number of the hospital. A number I've memorized from seeing it so often. Calls at work, in the middle of the night, each call making me tense. Fearing the worst. A number that brings an overflow of unpleasant thoughts and feelings. I feared that something might have happened while I was away from the hospital. Hesitantly, I answered the phone and was told unbelievable news. I rushed to the hospital. Unable to accept the reality of the situation. I needed to inform Sam. Desperately trying to reach him, the calls wouldn't connect. Please, pick up the phone. I kept calling, praying, but it went straight to voicemail, showing no sign of reaching Sam. Eventually, the calls didn't even go to voicemail, they were cut off immediately. He probably got annoyed with my repeated calls and blocked me. The emotionless announcement, "The customer is not available," echoed painfully in my ears. Despite my frustration over the phone not connecting, I knew I had things to take care of. That was all I could do. I returned home to prepare what was necessary. What should I do next? With so many thoughts tangling in my head, Sam returned home. I'm back. Got some great fish as a souvenir from the trip, can you prepare it? Hearing his carefree voice, I realized Sam had returned home. Sam, you're back now. You're late, aren't you? Yeah, got caught up with some work stuff, so I got back later than planned. Oh, I see. Oh, and I sent you a message too. As I was choosing my words, Sam suddenly started to celebrate. Oh, about your mother, huh? You were her only child, right? You're an only child, and with your mom gone, you'll get the full insurance amount, won't you? While saying this, Sam showed me a car catalog. I've had my eye on this car for a while. How about it? If you say you want to go for a drive, I'll take you. What is he talking about at this point? Your mother's funeral is over. What? Yes, your mother-in-law's funeral. I tried to contact you several times but couldn't get through. Sam seemed unable to grasp the situation.
What? I didn't hear about it. It's your mother we're talking about, right?
She was buying some snacks at the department store to bring as a gift. That's when she stumbled on the sidewalk and accidentally stepped into the road.
What? Can that even happen?
He asked, shaking me vigorously. I was at a loss for words, being shaken. I was worried because there were no red receipts on the messages. I guess some things can only be understood by blood relatives. What I meant by things only a blood relative would understand is that it seems like your mother left a letter. I first heard about it from the lawyer too. They said I can't see the contents until you return. Then Sam stood up abruptly and shouted. A lawyer can't see the contents until I return, that means. I'll contact the lawyer right away. I was told to get in touch as soon as you returned.
Great, do that. This timing is like luck coming my way. I'll get both the insurance money and the company.
On the way to the lawyer's office with Sam, he kept murmuring to himself while looking at his phone, I want that, this would be nice. What we were told at the lawyer's office was about the existence of a will. A will? I thought it was just a letter. It turns out my mother-in-law had written a will and entrusted it to a longtime friend who is a lawyer. She had planned ahead, thinking about what would happen after she was gone, which was just like her. According to the will, the company was to be passed on to me, her daughter-in-law. Even if something happened leading to a divorce, the will stated that I should inherit the company and serve as its president. I didn't know about this.
What? Isn't that odd? Why would the wife become the president when there's a biological son? What about me?
The will only mentioned that, so Sam was furious.
Hey! This can't be valid. And what's this about a divorce or whatever?
I calmed down the enraged Sam and left the scene. A few days passed, and it seemed Sam had done some thinking. He approached me as if nothing had happened before.
Hey, since you're the president, that naturally makes me the vice president, right? I don't like working under you, but I'm not cut out to be just a regular employee forever.
I was baffled by his assumption that he could become vice president. I called Sam into a room at our workplace.
It's clear that you can't remain just an ordinary employee. Please check these documents. If I sign this, I'll be vice president, or maybe even chairman. Either way, hurry up and show me.
I handed Sam a document.
A termination notice? What's this?
Exactly what it looks like. I intend to fire you.
What? Isn't that absurd?
Oh, I get it.
You don't like my attitude, so this is your revenge. Here's the document summarizing the reasons.
I showed Sam the documentation of his various misconducts. Misusing company funds. Repeatedly engaging in unnecessary entertainment. Making customers feel uncomfortable. And improperly using the company's monthly apartment. Your mother had told me about it, and I had been discreetly investigating. The recent misuse of the monthly apartment rented for a new employees, and not going to business trip didn't go unnoticed either.
So, I'm fired, huh?
Fine by me. You'll work and support me, right? This isn't about our home life. We're discussing work matters here.
Ah, yes. I guess I'm finally living the freeloader life.
Well, that's easy for me. He carelessly signed the document without even checking. Confirming his messy signature, I pulled out another document.
A divorce paper? What do you mean?
We're getting divorced. This is my final request, not as a president, but as your wife. What do you mean, divorce? I was planning to live off your earnings from now on. He looked at me with begging eyes, rubbing his hands together. How can you be okay with cheating using the company's money and then expect to go back to normal? No, I was out of my mind then. Erica is the only one for me, you know.
In a marriage, there's no such thing as a main choice.
You cheated and must have been prepared for the consequences, right? As I spoke calmly, Sam began to panic.
Don't abandon me like this. If I lose my job and get divorced from you, how am I supposed to live?
You're an adult. You can earn and live on your own, right? And after cheating, you still think we can go back to normal? Then Sam looked at me with tearful eyes. Come on, do I really have to sign this? I think we can still make it work. I have no intention of starting over. And if you don't sign, I'll be heading straight to the lawyer's office. Sam, seemingly resigned, signed the divorce papers. I took the signed papers and faced Sam. One last thing to tell you. The woman you cheated with, lying about being on a business trip and abandoning your mother, she's quite something.
What do you mean? Don't talk about her like that.
Sam shouted, his hair in disarray. No need to yell. It seems she wasn't just with you. From the security camera footage, she's been seen with 2 or 3 other men. Maybe you were just one of her flings?
That can't be true.
Believe it or not, it's up to you. But it's scary to see you not facing reality. I had nothing more to say to Sam. Holding the signed divorce papers, I quickly headed to the city office. I could hear Sam shouting something in the background, but I didn't stop. I eventually divorced Sam. With the lawyer my mother-in-law had appointed, I managed the divorce and alimony claims smoothly. Sam was stubborn until the end, but living with someone who became so self-centered after marriage was more painful. Why did he think we could still work things out after his infidelity? I once asked him. And his answer was unexpected. We're connected at the soul, so I thought we'd never part, no matter what. You understand, right? This feeling. What do you mean all of a sudden? Connected at the soul? I can't understand that reasoning. Well, someone as harmonious as me can hear the voice of the soul. I'm not asking about that. If you can betray someone you're supposedly connected with, sorry, but I'd rather not. In the end, Sam was just a self-centered man who always put himself first. All I have left is the company my former mother-in-law left me. I'm committed to preserving and growing this company as a way to repay her. The company has been doing well, with new products becoming hits and increasing sales. The increased media attention and rising sales are incredibly rewarding. Being supported by many fans has brought me this far, which I am genuinely happy about. However, the pressure often outweighs the joy. I believe there's always a part of me that feels the need to strive harder. Becoming the president and seeing the company continue successfully brings me a sense of relief. Divorce is regrettable, but I see it as a learning experience in life. Sam, who had been fired for causing harm to the company and repeated violations, was now unrelated to me. But unexpectedly, I saw him again. It was during a visit to a supermarket to discuss a new product from my company. While talking to an employee about the product, I heard a familiar voice. Sam, being scolded by an employee who seemed to be his senior despite looking younger, was stocking shelves with a sulking face, unchanged from before. The moment he noticed me, his face lit up as if he'd seen a savior in hell, and he approached me. I always thought I'd see you again someday. What's this all of a sudden? Shouldn't you get back to work?
The workplace can't run without me, right? I mean, if you say you want me back, I could consider returning.
Does he seriously think the workplace can't run without him? I wonder if he is seriously thinking that. What does he think of his own work capability? I almost burst into laughter thinking about it. But I couldn't laugh in this situation. It's somewhat amazing that he still believes he can return to the company. I smiled and responded. Who would want to call back someone who betrayed their partner and cheated, someone who can't even follow company rules? Well, I mean, we were married, right? You're the president, so you can make it happen, right? No one would oppose you in that small company. Sam laughed mockingly. The former president is someone very important to me. A company important to her as well. And you think you can return after insulting it?
No, I mean, it was just a joke.
There's nothing more to talk about. Sam's bad habit was unchanged. When he senses a bad situation, he resorts to claiming it's just a joke. Does he think saying it's a joke makes everything okay? Not knowing the difference between what's okay to say and what's not, even as an adult, is pitiful. Or whatever it is. There's something about him that evokes such feelings. I finished up my work quickly and left. By the way, the new employee Sam cheated with got involved with a married man and ended up in a lawsuit. I couldn't see through her, but it seems like I was just swept up in her games. Envious characters never change, it seems. Watching her, I realized she had resigned. When I got the call from a resignation service, I wasn't surprised and felt nothing. She's now struggling in her daily life, being sued for damages by the married man's spouse. Honestly, I learned that people who stray from the right path fall on their own, without needing someone else's intervention. I'm still working hard every day to protect the company left to me by the former president. There are times when work doesn't go as planned or the reputation dips, but I think I'm managing. My mother, who was hospitalized for a long time, is finally getting discharged, which I'm looking forward to. The trip I couldn't take with her that day, once she recovers, we'll enjoy it just the two of us.